Hello, everyone. It's 4 p.m. It's the top of the hour. It's 4 p.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. It's 8 p.m. UTC. It's 10 o'clock p.m. in Italy. I know those for sure. Don't know anything else. My name is Ethan Smith. This is the Steam Engine. We are coming to you with our first ever Talk of the Line voice chat segment. So, hello, everyone who's maybe listening all over the world. We're coming to you various time zones, various countries, but we're really glad for you to be here. And thank you to the SteamStar Radio Network. We're broadcasting live over on steamstar.net. Thank you to Sir Cork for allowing us to have this time slot today. So the goal of today and the goal of this session, oh, by the way, I'm here with my co-host, Awaken to Life, who's live in Italy, so you can say hello if you want to.
Hi there, guys. How's everybody doing?
All right, so we're here today. We're going to walk you through just a few things. First, today, the first thing we're going to do is we're opening the floor to our members who normally take to our chat channel to curate and vote, comment on their posts, and share posts. And today we're going to give them the opportunity to share them here and talk a little bit about them. So we're going to take some inspiration from Shadows Pub, who's here with us today. And we have a little train emoji in the chat. It's Steam Locomotive, I think, is the actual code. Awaken to Life, can you drop that little train emoji into the chat so everybody can see that?
Hold on. I thought you had that. I'm sorry,
Oh, I
man.
do. I can get it here in just a moment, but you might have to
Oh,
talk to fill the air with something.
oh yeah, no problem. I'll just get Dreams Team talking. Dreams Team, can you talk a little bit? I'm just kidding. How's everybody doing? How's your day? Nobody ever responded to that first question I asked.
We're all doing good, Awaken. Lots going on, very productive day. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Tired. Had two practices today and got two tomorrow. So I just came back like 2 hours ago. I ate some dinner and I came here for my duty as a co-host.
Good to hear from you, man.
Okay, so I didn't prepare, clearly, but now you can see we have the code for the train emoji. If you would like to share a post, please just drop that emoji into the chat and we can we'll add you to the list. And Dreamsteam, it should be there somewhere, but you can use the text that I posted there and it should drop in. There you go, just like that. So I'm not sure. I think a Panama Mama found that emoji somehow, and I'm not sure because it's hard to find in the list. But we have
It's a
these.
pretty cool one.
Yeah, I like it. There's another train, but it doesn't look nearly as neat as that one, and it's more of a modern train. So we're all about the steam here at the Steam Engine. So you can expect lots of railroad puns along the way, hopefully. So, all right. So we have an audience of about 10 people here so far, and Dreamsteam is the only one who wants to present so far. So if you would like to drop, and Calamam, so we've got two already. So we'll take that and get going. So we'll keep it up. And there's Artemis North. Excellent. All right. So Dreamsteam, why don't you go ahead and share your link and tell us what you've been up to?
Writing down the sequence of the.
You hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
Hear you.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Well, today was crazy. This past week, I think I lost electricity twice, and I live really rurally, so that inspired me to write some fun posts about just living close to nature and having to drive 90 minutes to get my internet going. I had to be like at the library. Like, when's the last time you were at the library to actually do some work on the internet? It was so high school for me. But let's see. This today was a pretty cool post that I got to do. I had been talking to guilty parties, and I happened to see an ad for some weighted blankets, which were really cool because they're just regular blankets that have like little beads in them. But when you put them over you to go to sleep, they kind of hug your body in a neat way. And I told him, you should, talk to your veterans about this because it's really good for people with PTSD. And lo and behold, I didn't even realize that.
We lost her for a second.
Oh,
Hey,
is something wrong with my
You're good
Dream,
now.
sorry.
sound?
Can you drop your link? You didn't drop your link in the chat, so we can go to your post.
Oh, sure, sure. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We got you now. Okay.
Can you hear me okay? Because I wasn't hearing anybody, and normally you can kind of hear people talking, but I wasn't.
We can't hear you. Try again.
I heard you there.
I'm just kidding. We hear you. We
Okay,
hear
yeah.
you.
Go ahead, Dream Team. We've got you just fine.
Okay, okay. Well, so I was just talking to Guilty about how cool these blankets were for PTSD sufferers, and he said that would be really cool to put into my channel or the veterans channel. So would you mind doing a little bit more research and actually making a post? So lo and behold, I really suffer with insomnia. I usually sleep about 4 hours a night, and because it's cold up here, we moved up to Central California. I started using double blankets, triple blankets, and the weight of them actually, I thought it was the warmth that was keeping me asleep. But now that I recognize it, it really is that feeling of kind of being hugged all night long, like a baby being swaddled. So as I did this research for him and the post for him, it ended up being something really kind of.
You cut out again.
Cut out the video.
I just got like a ton of what I said like 5 minutes ago back. Did you guys just hear all that too? Was that crazy?
No,
We
no.
didn't hear last maybe 15 seconds and before this right now.
We have not been hearing any
My
kind of
sound is
issues
going
with this.
crazy. It sounds really weird.
Is it? It's not because you have the Steam Star stream open in another tab, is it?
Okay, I'm just gonna keep talking and pretend that it's like. Oh, I think I do. Hold on, let me close that out.
There we go.
There we go. We
found the issue.
found the issue.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, there we go. That'll be better now. Okay, so anyway, just wrapping up, it was just really cool because in doing this post for him, thinking that I was just doing it to help other people and like hopefully finding, some things that would help them with their sleep and making them feel a little bit more comfort. It was just cool because it was confirming to me some things that I was trying this week that were helping me and probably things that I will continue to implement to make me sleep really well. So hopefully if anybody else has issues with insomnia or even just anxiety or PTSD, a lot of people don't like the feeling of being like physically hugged by other people, just the social barrier and the physical barrier of that. But like as you can see in the article, the post that I made, Temple Grandin is an autistic savant that recognized this and made a hug machine. And though we're probably not going to go buy hug machines, an alternative might be a weighted blanket. So there you go.
Well, I think we have sometimes a similar problem of not sleeping, but my problem is not cold, but it's problem steaming. I can't sleep because I'm just not steaming all night long.
Exactly.
Pretty cool
Yeah,
advice.
we need to just put the steam it away.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you so much for sharing that.
I need to somehow make a lock on my laptop that just shuts down at 12. I can't turn it on till like 8, 9 in the morning or something.
I'm pretty sure there are some Chrome extensions that will lock you out of a website after you've been on them for long enough. So, if you really need some help, I'm sure we can get it for you.
I'll try to control myself a little bit. 3 a.m., 4 a.m. writing posts. Nah, not cool.
Yeah, well, it pays off because you have some great posts. But thank you so much, Dreams Team. We appreciate you being here. We're glad that you shared the post with us, and we hope that you don't have any more electricity issues. So,
Me too.
That was a pretty good presentation. Thank you for sharing it with us.
excellent. All right, so next up we have Calamam, and he's got
Hello.
some great things going for us. So let's hear what he's got lately. I have a feeling this is about Buddy Up, but I may be wrong.
Ah, see, surprises,
Ooh.
surprises.
Well, you never
I
know.
was, I was going to promote Buddy Up, but all of you guys here already know about it. You know, you're very supportive, and I'm gonna put in something a little bit different here. So, I literally only wrote this about an hour ago, and it was off the back of a big writing session, and I was thinking about there's a concept called Eulerian destiny. So if you look at the diagram there, you know it's how do you can see how it is, but it's basically all the circles overlapping, somewhat attribute to your destiny, what you're doing now. So I was thinking about it and just sitting there. I did the little diagram and posted it in, and then I just started rambling on. You know, the post was initially going to be about my weaknesses. I'm realizing with writing. Um, I feel as though my vocabulary needs to grow and get better. So it was going to be a post about vocabulary.com and how I've been using that to try and improve. But like I says, it ended up being ramblings and more of a free write about a little bit of my past and bit it's personal. It's very raw. And I thought, look, I'm not going to edit it. I'm not going to add any images. I'm just going to post it how it is, and hopefully kind of let you guys know where I get a little bit of my drive from. So it really goes into a little bit of my past. So I used to work as a woodworker, a joiner for many years, and did some good things. You know, I took part in competitions, did pretty well, and I'd always wanted to be a furniture maker. You know, I was quite hell bent on it, and always pigeonholed myself into believing that was what I was going to do. And I sent myself crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I was up on my own, away from my friends and family, and I just totally lost it. I think that's somewhat because I want to be very successful in my life, and I believe that becoming a furniture maker was gonna get that. But 3 months away from finishing my apprenticeship, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not happy doing this. I need to get away from it, get a bit of my sanity back. And I just left and thought, you know what it is, I'm not happy with this. So, start of the year, started steaming on and writing, and really discovered a love for writing and expressing myself through that way. As you know, it's grown into more. I wanted to make the community buddy up to get that like genuine connection between all of us, and it's evolved into something so much more. You know, I've got this. I feel as though I've got a much higher purpose than my own self. You know, all of us here right now are so engaging. We build each other up, encourage each other, and help each other out so much. And just by having a community where everybody's like that, I've got so much drive for it. I just feel as though it's me, and it's something that I can express, and it's just powerful within us. And the post, very raw, very personal. It's just touching on a few reasons, and you know, a little bit of an insight into where I get that drive from.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
I think maybe for vocabulary expanding, try to start reading books. I don't know. It helped me a lot when I was learning English better. Reading books. I mean, there's you can expand like fast.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm quite. I don't read that much non-fiction. It's more, you know, that I'm touching on psychology and self-development stuff like that. I always, you know, I've got my knowledge blast. Well, I haven't done it for a while, but that was always based around that. But like I says, the www.vocabulary.com, I've started using that, and it's a great system. You know, you instantly go in, make an account, and it just asks you what is this word mean, and it really breaks down the vocabulary and gives you the different uses of what the verb is, what the nouns are. I don't know how to talk about it that well, but it's helping, and I'm learning a lot. So I'll drop the link in if anyone's interested, but it's been helping me out a lot. But thanks for the advice, though. Definitely need to read more non-fiction for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, as long as you find something that works for you, I mean, where you think you're learning the most, that's most important.
So I have to say, Calamam, I'm really curious. Did you make that Venn diagram? That's the featured image, because that's
Yeah, yeah, I did. It was. I was looking online for free usage images, and there was just none there. So you know what it is. I'm just gonna make it. It's not that hard. So.
You know what? I can really appreciate that effort. I might suggest that you could use something like Google Slides or PowerPoint to just enter like a circle or something for next time. But I'm really impressed that instead of just grabbing something online, you went and made that in what looks like Microsoft Paint. But I gotta say,
I actually think it's great because it's personal. It's not. I mean, it's his. You know, it makes. I don't know. For me, it makes a post better,
yeah, of
even better.
course. I have nothing against it. I just think it's really kind of a testament to Calamam that he decided to draw that for it instead of use something from online.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
props to you.
He just said, screw those tools, man. I'm doing this myself, and he just did it.
Yeah, and I think as well, the one thing I noticed was I just had a little pencil, like a thin pencil line for the middle, and it was like the center's your destiny. And as I was drawing and squiggling in that little circle, it started to look more and more like a black hole, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's drawing you in, definitely. Okay. All right. So
Anyway, thanks for the time, though, guys. Great to speak to you. It's great to
thank you so
present.
much, Calamam. We're so glad you could be here. Once again, this is the first ever session of Talk of the Line, brought to you by The Steam Engine on Steemit. I'm Ethan Smith, and I'm here with my co-host Awaken to Life, and this is being broadcast worldwide on the SteamStar Network. I believe next up is Artemis North.
Hi, everybody.
Ooh.
Duro, are you using headphones?
No,
I think that might
that
have
wasn't
what
me.
caused that.
That actually wasn't me. I think that was Artemis North.
I think you hit your push to talk right when she went to talk. I don't know. Anyway, try again.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having this show. It's great. This post is a call out to my fiber artist network looking for some help for a gosh darn sweater I've been working on since way before Christmas for my kid. And I just did a shout out to say, hey, does anybody have a clue what the hell I'm doing wrong here? I know it's probably not your bag, but you never know.
I think maybe Petra knows something. She's actually, I think, needling. She did a couple of needling posts, I think. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah, I'm just checking it out.
Now, would that be needling as you're bugging someone or you're working on something?
Both, actually. Why not?
She was working on something, I think.
Oh, my picture didn't show up. Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm looking at your pictures now, and this looks great. It's like, how long did it take you to get this through?
Well, to be honest, I had all those parts and pieces done just before Christmas, but coming up to the raglan decreasing, I'm working in a lace sort pattern, and it's...
Yeah, it's lace, but I see lace, and is this garter stitch also, or just lace?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that all.
What kind of stitches are you using? Are those garter stitches or lace stitches?
Well, there's some seed stitch, and then there's another chart that has sort of the diagonal line lace,
Yeah,
and that's what's...
Those diagonal lines are beautiful. They look so amazing.
They do look really pretty when they're stretched out and blocked, but I'm having a bitch of a time getting the proper raglan decrease for the arms and the shoulders. I wonder if it has something to do with my yarn overs.
Is your yarn stretchy, or is it like really tight?
It's not a stretchy, it's not a really stretchy yarn. It's actually camel.
How long did it take you to make this? Because I know my mom was doing similar stuff, and it took her a long time to do something like this. I mean, like 3-4 months. I mean, she wasn't like doing it every day, but it took her a long time.
It took me about a month and a half to do all those pieces.
I bet it takes a lot of patience to do stuff like this.
Strangely enough, it's my zen. If I'm really pissed off with the world and things are driving me crazy and I just need a timeout, I pick up my needles because I can control that.
I so get you. I totally understand what you're saying. And I'm looking, so, you said, I'm just going through a post, you had 6 stitches too many. Did you manage to decrease them, or did you just leave them?
Well, you know, when you make pieces to put a sweater together, you're supposed to have a certain number of stitches left on your needle,
Yeah.
and then eventually you'll do the band that goes all around. It's really weird because on each piece, no matter the size, I had 6 stitches too many left over afterwards.
When something like that happens to me, I just stitch them together without any worries. Just 2 stitch at a time, and I'm done.
Well, I think I'm going to take your lead because so far I just want to get it done.
Yeah, just you have 6 of them. Just make 3 stitches, like double it, double the stitch.
That's a good idea. I guess it doesn't have to be perfect. A little bit of my mother in me there.
And you know what? Nobody will see that it's not perfect except you. You should be aware of that. Nobody will even notice it. Only you will see that it's not perfect. Everybody else will just look at it and say, "Wow, this is amazing."
Thanks, Petra. I think I'm going to take your advice and just do it.
Yeah, because it looks really great.
I think it's going to look so amazing on my daughter.
So it's kind of interesting because the just this whole seeing the communities and users who do this creative things like sewing and stitching and all of this. My grandmother, both of my grandmothers, have always done things like that, and I think they were both kind of sad that none of their grandchildren really took that up. And my wife recently decided she wanted to give it a shot, and so it's absolutely thrilled my grandmother that my wife has taken an interest in sewing and things. So it's been kind of fun to see that evolve. She's made me a few bow ties already, and those have been fun to wear because I get to say, "Hey, my wife made this," and it kind of catches people off guard.
Sorry. Go.
Sorry. I was just going to say that's because she made it with love.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
So Artemis, Snort, and Petra, what happens when you're like pissed off and you go do your stuff and somebody's bugging you? Do you just like stick him with your needle or something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Yeah, you don't mess with chicks with sticks.
So well said.
Awesome. Basically, everybody in your families know now when you go do your thing, just stay away from me.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Duro, I'll let you introduce our next guest.
Well, our next guest is our great friend, Hope and Hugs, actually Helen. So, Helen, please present your post.
Hi, it's the first time I'm doing anything like this, so bear with me if I get all nervous or anything.
Don't worry, we're doing this for the first time too, so we're all doing first times here.
Okay, today I'm sharing this post. It's a vlog on Hope Hugs on Your Power. I've kind of set myself this challenge because I'm quite shy and to get more talkative, so I've set myself a challenge to talk for at least 3 minutes on a video about whatever. No editing. What you see was what you get. So this one was one that I did at the weekend. Had some sort of issues with the children. I spoke to you briefly about yesterday, Duro. Of a bit of a power struggle in the supermarket.
Basically, her daughter got mad at her because she was buying a present for another person, a birthday present, and her daughter got mad at her because she didn't buy her present also.
Yeah, so there was about 4 hours rant on top of that. my ex-husband wanted to be Skyped as well, so I had to kind of call up and cancel that. And then I got a call back from his mum saying, couldn't you speak to Hazel on the phone and all this? And I kind of was brave enough to say, no, we're not doing it today, we're doing it tomorrow now, because I'm not going to be able to handle that as well. So I just kind of wanted to make the point in that video, basically that it's your choice to who you give power to, and trying to make sure that it's yourself and not anybody else.
Yeah, that's a great advice. I think everybody needs to do that, you know, because it's your life and it's your decisions. Like you wrote, your power, and you know you shouldn't give it to other people too. You know.
Yeah, that's probably all I've got to say on it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's kind of a great extension of your vlog to really come here today and talking about all of that as well. So we really appreciate you sharing here. Hope Hugs has been a valuable member of our community. She was involved in the founding of the Steam Engine, and before that in the Unmentionable group that we had before this group, and she's been instrumental in that behind the scenes, and we've really appreciated her help. So thank you so much for being here today and sharing.
So thank you very much, Ethan.
So it looks like Johnny has asked a question about your interviews that you're doing on your profile.
Yes, I do Steam interviews with people who kind of want to share about their experiences on Steam and Steam. I'm happy to interview anybody, really.
I think I've sat down for one of those, and it's a pretty pleasant experience.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Hope Hugs, for sharing, and I think we'll move right down the list, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next participant, who is normally in our chair hosting the segment, and that is Shadows Pub. So we'll turn the floor over to you and allow you to pimp your own post for once.
Yeah, this does feel different sitting in this chair. Well, same chair as always, but different role. So anybody that's known me for like 10 minutes knows that I'm part of the Royal Canadian Legion, which is a veterans organization. And one of the things that the Royal Canadian Legion does is it has a youth education program. And part of the youth education program is public speaking contests. And in fact, I participated in them some 45 years ago. So this was kind of cool last weekend when I was taking part in doing the zone level of the public speaking. And zone is the next level up from the branch. So the kids were competing 10 branches. The winners from those ones were competing against each other at this competition. So my role in this was to be at the back door, and it just looked like I was sitting there registering people. But my other part of the job was that when a speaker went up, I kept an eye on the area where the parents were, because one of the rules is that parents and family are not allowed to coach the speakers. And if that happens, we have to disqualify the speaker. And unfortunately, I had the unpleasant duty of disqualifying 3 of the speakers. But nonetheless, we had some great speakers, some interesting topics. The kids do amazing speeches. You get the few up there that kind of mumble in their beards, and you kind of go, oh, well. And then you get others up there that they are absolute little performers. The one youngster who really stood out to me was in the junior group, and he did his speech on homelessness. And part of what he was talking about was making these plastic mats that are distributed to homeless people. This youngster is probably about 12 years old. He's been doing this since he was 4 years old. His parents are volunteers in the community, and obviously the lesson has passed on. So that's just one example of the types of speeches that we were hearing from these youngsters. So hopefully you've learned something out of that and enjoy it.
And I would love to hear that speech about homelessness. I mean, I think that would be an amazing speech. I mean, especially coming from a young age like that.
That one was really good, and the other one that I'd heard at the branch level already, because it was our competitor. young lady got up and she started her speech describing a scenario where two young men get into a car. One of them is impaired. Obviously, the driver gets into an accident. The passenger is killed. She goes on to talk about impaired driving and the consequences of it. And you find out at the end of the speech, the young man that was killed was her uncle, who was killed 4 years before she was born.
Oh wow! Oh wow! That's a sad story.
I think it's great that there are initiatives like this that allow the youth to get up and do public speaking. I didn't have a public speaking course until I was about 15 years old. I guess I was a sophomore in high school, and it really helped me. I mean, regardless of whether you end up doing any kind of public speaking or anything, it can be valuable to develop those skills. But wow, 4 years old, that is incredible.
These kids can start doing speeches at grade 1.
Wow. Yeah, that seems really, really interesting to me. I know that a lot of times growing up, and my mother was the music director at my local church, and so she would be responsible for planning the Christmas and Easter programs. And so, of course, since I was the son, I ended up in all of these things. So I kind of remember doing some things in front of people when I was that age, but actually getting up and giving a speech sounds incredible.
I don't know. For me, like I started doing first debates and speeches like this when I was in college, and I was scared to do it. I can't even imagine how it would be with like 4 years old and trying to speak about important topic like homelessness like that. I mean, I don't even know how I would feel.
No, he wasn't doing speeches at 4 years old. He was making and distributing those plastic mats at 4 years old.
Oh, but how old was he when he was making that speech?
He would have been about 12, I believe.
I would be still scared little kid to do that speech.
I think it's really cool to be involved with an initiative like that from such a young age. I think that's really neat.
I think it's a great initiative for the kids. I mean, to start speaking like this, gain confidence and stuff like that. I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty good skill to know how to speak in front of people like this.
Definitely. So we're glad that everybody's here talking about their post today, even though it's not up in front of people. We're in the comfort of a chair in front of a computer. That's great. But anyway, thank you so much, Shadows Pub. It's really a pleasure to have you here presenting your own post for a change.
It was an interesting change.
I know that you're involved with a lot of other voice chat segments and things like that. It's just kind of a monumental occasion for us, since this is the first time that we've ever done something like this.
Sounds to be going well to me.
I hope so.
I think we learned from the best, from the shadow.
That's true. I've been attending that segment for several months now, and it's great. So anyhow, just to give another recap, this is the first ever Talk of the Line segment coming to you live from the Steam Engine Discord on steamit.com, and it's also being broadcast live on steamstar.net. We are down to Vanessa Hampton. It is your turn to present, so we'd love to hear from you.
She's actually going to do text.
Oh, great. Okay.
So do you want to read it, Ethan, or should I read it?
I will let you read it. You go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Hi, guys. It is my first time on the show. How are you guys doing? I'm happy to be here. I'm from Nigeria, and it's quite late. This is my second attempt at Freeride. I began doing it on Steemit through Mariana West initiative. So far, I found writing off the seat of my pants simply brutal. Picturing the beginning, middle, and the end of the story just right on the first try. So difficult. This tells the story of a mother of two who turned from a bad day at work to find a younger woman, a neighbor's daughter, had taken her place. Oh, I know there are many veterans in the house, but I made it to Reputation 50 in 26 days. I've been celebrating all day. A curry and steam trail and 2 steam curations got me here faster. Steemit rocks, especially when you work hard, as I got to find out. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Vanessa. That's great. There's a lot of really, really neat things that we can learn from that. And also congrats on reaching Rep 50 in under a month. I think that's something that a lot of people would be very envious of, and we congratulate you on that success. That's incredible.
I think that's actually pretty fast. I mean, you're moving speed of light. I haven't reached 50, I think, in 2, 3 months, but it was actually my fault. But it just shows if you put, a lot of effort and work into Steemit, you can make it. It doesn't matter who you are.
It's also great to know that there are still these initiatives like Curie and SteamStem that are really curating people like Vanessa, which are working hard from places all across the world and allowing them to find success here. So we really appreciate that you're here with us today, Vanessa. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing your post with us today. That's incredible, and we're so glad to have you as a member of the group.
Petra, you're next.
And by Hope Hugs, thank you for being here.
Already so fast? Okay, let me just get the link. Sorry.
Yeah,
You're
just chugging down the list here pretty quickly.
You're number 7, and I don't think we got anybody else after that.
Okay, I made a post about my voting power headaches and how actually the biggest problem is there is no problem. However funny that may sound. Lately, sometimes, well, lately especially, I hear people talk about shit posts and how Steemit needs to fix this and that, and I'm over here sitting and thinking about what are you people talking about. I'm surrounded with so much quality content that I have to think really hard, actually think and decide what posts will I upload, because where are those shit posts that you're talking about? The things I read are so amazing and so special that I sometimes need to remind myself, okay, go write something, don't just read. But regarding VP, it gets frustrating to not be able to show support to everyone that I want sometimes, because well, there is so much quality content that sometimes you need to choose which one of those quality posts will you reward with your upload. But when I wrote this post, I got some great comments as usual, but I discovered Busy. That was like a revelation to me, and people reminded me that I could vote using Busy and finally get that little slider, because now when I drop my vote to 63%, it is still the same amount as it would be on 100%, but it allows me to upvote more people. And this made me really happy and relieved me of my headaches, at least for a while. I don't know how long will I be without them, since I am surrounded constantly with pretty much excellent content in a lot of Discord groups and Steemit in general. But I hope my headaches are gone, at least for a while.
Well,
I
know. Oh, sorry.
Go.
Okay, so I know that a lot of people don't know about Busy and the other front ends to Steemit, but Busy is definitely one of the best. They've just recently done some updates that have included notification features as well. But I think that your this post is great because it talks about an issue that a lot of people face at the very beginning, and that's actually one of the things that I've been trying to address in my my beginner's guide. And so it's kind of interesting that you mentioned this now, Petra, because my latest lesson has actually been about voting, and a lot of the things that you were saying I've tried to touch on. So I hope you guys have checked that out. If anybody else has any other comments, please feel free. But I think it's a good perspective, and people can log in through Busy if they want to access a slider a little bit sooner than they normally have one.
Yeah, because I don't know how much time would it regularly took me to reach the slider, but for a tiny little plankton, which is what Busy is calling me, a plankton. I'm not even a fish, guys. I'm a plankton. Come on, Busy. That hurts, and that is not cool. But as a plankton, my vote is pretty small, and when I'm voting at 100%, it it loses its value pretty soon, pretty fast. So busy helps. Yeah, Plankton.
Well, when you were talking about shit posts, I'm gonna little go on that topic. Um, most of you know I recently just became a curator for Curry, and I've been searching for posts, and it's not easy to find a good post, even though they are really strict about posts. But if you go to the new posts on Steemit, just regular new posts that just came in, I mean, I tried for like 5 days or a week to try to find a good post there. I mean, I would say 98% of the posts there are one picture posts or copy and paste posts. I mean, it's incredible. That I mean, you're lucky that you got in a couple of groups. There are people just post great quality content, and you got something great to read. But if you go on the new posts, I mean, it's a lot of crappy posts. I mean, a lot, not even close. I mean, one picture posts, copy and paste. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't go there. I just don't go. I know you have to because you need to find quality posts as a curator for Curie. That obviously okay, but being in Steam Engine and going through some Alliance posts lately, it's overwhelming. I don't have time to go on the trending page because people in those two groups alone are so amazing and so talented that I don't know why would I need to go on a trending page? Is there anything good there anyway?
No,
Did anyone see anything good in trending page lately?
not really. I don't think so. Just to answer a question for Artemis Nord, for Curry, I mean, they're really picky. But for me, it's a post that you write originally. I mean, your pictures, your posts, or really, really very well cited article that you write. I mean, the information you use, everything is really cited. It's just I love posts that come as a real life story from the heart, from the soul. Those are my kind of posts. That's the most of the posts that I put as a for a curation for Curry are the real life stories.
Okay, so if Petra, is that everything that you wanted to say?
Yeah, for now. I always have a lot to say, but for
Of
now,
course, of
okay,
course.
it's okay. Thanks
So
for the time.
yeah, you're absolutely welcome, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. On that same note, since we have reached the end of the list of people who wanted to share so far, I want to go ahead and take a moment to share my latest chapter in the Beginner's Guide to Steemit, which talks about voting, and I think it's very appropriate considering what we just talked about. So, voting is one of those things that I I hate that it took this long to get to it, and I tried to cover it very briefly in the Quick Start Guide, but I think that this is one of the most important things that new users can learn is that you have a voting power and it takes a while to recover it, and you don't just want to blow through it all at the beginning. And so if you haven't read the post, I somehow miraculously came up with this fantastic analogy about if you've ever been. So last fall, our local farmers market had an apple tasting competition, and while it wasn't exactly like the one I describe in the post, I decided that Steemit is kind of like if you go to a competition and you are given a certain number of votes that are ranked, and you know that you can only use those amount of votes that day or that cycle, and you know that some votes will help more than others. And I really just found that was a good way to describe voting to a new user, and so I hope that everyone enjoys that that analogy, and Anyway, please be sure to share this with people who are maybe having a hard time understanding voting. It does go through some of the math of voting and the restoration of voting power and things like that, but I try to give some good examples that help make it a little bit easier to understand, because I know it can be a tough subject. So I'm glad that you gave me the platform to share that there, Petra, with your post, and glad that you're able to use the slider. So I'm glad that you have, and also Artemis North, I'm glad that you've been able to enjoy the guides as well. So I'll be working on more when I get time, but that's the latest one. So thank you guys for giving me time to present that, since I'm technically the host. But I mean,
Good job, man. I'm really looking forward to these all being compiled together and put into a PDF. Like, that's going to be a pretty good feeling when you get to that stage, and it's just, here you go. This is all you need to know about getting involved with Steemit.
Honestly, I'm not too much worried about my voting because it's really not worth too much. So I just upload until my power is drained. I mean, maybe when I have a little more steam, I'll take a look at it.
I think it's kind of interesting to note that, yeah, while it doesn't look like you're adding value, I mean, every single vote that's cast on the blockchain, on the Steem blockchain, does indeed add at least some minuscule value. So it is kind of important to consider that, because while it may not be worth anything on the counter that shows up on each post, you are bestowing rewards on another user every time you cast a vote, and that's kind of the way that I wanted people to start thinking about it in that. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that there's so much good stuff to vote on. Like, we all have the Petra problem. We have too much good things that we're coming across in the groups that we're part of. And also, I know Awaken to Life.
I'm sorry.
No, it's really
I'm
not.
sorry, I'm laughing so hard because we all have the Petra problem. So good.
As long as it's not petrol problem.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just wanted to say that these posts of yours are amazing, and I have a friend that is actually joining Steemit. He's waiting for that email thingy that lets you know that you are on Steemit now, and he has, of course, as a new user, a ton of questions, and I'm just gonna kind of reroute him to your posts because I think you covered most of the things pretty amazing. So I'm not gonna answer any of his questions. I'm just gonna push your links towards him.
I think that's a really good thing that I've heard that several people are able to do that already, and that's honestly what it's all about. I don't care about the rewards on these posts. I just care about making sure that people are able to find these resources in one place without having to look very hard, and that's really the thing. So, as far as Poetic Snake, thank you so much for joining us. We just wanted to address, since you aren't technically a member of the Steem engine, I'm afraid that we will not have to. We didn't talk about this before, but we're trying to, for this first one, we're going to restrict sharing posts in this session with just people who are confirmed members. And I did leave this voice chat session open to everyone because we wanted people to be able to listen in. But yeah, if you're not a passenger, we're going to have to decline for now. And that's nothing personal at all. I know that whatever you were about to share would probably be incredible, but sorry about that.
Ethan, what she was about to share actually includes a member of the Steem engine. That would be me. So would you like me to share it instead?
Hey, that would be absolutely fine if we want to, use the loophole there. That would be great, because if it involves a member of this community, then absolutely.
All right. Yeah, I'm down with that too.
So Poetic Snake just posted about the show for Resteem Radio tomorrow night, and I'm going to be one of the guests on it. So that's why I suggested that she share it here.
Oh, that's fantastic. What are you going to be doing as a guest there?
I think that Poetic Snake and Maine are probably going to surprise me with questions.
Oh, questions, yeah.
If you've never gone into the Resteem Radio, what they do is they get guests on. Like, for example, you could be a guest if you wanted to be. You just let them know. And they'll talk to you about your time on Steem and what you're doing, and maybe your project like the New User's Guide.
Yeah, I've heard a lot, and I've tuned into a couple of Main Events segments, and I really like the way that he does things, and I know that Poetic Snake does some great stuff too. So Maybe I will reach out to them. But you know what, Shadows, I might have to tune into that. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, they co-hosted together. That's one of the reasons it was renamed to Re-Steam Radio.
That's great. Well, maybe I'll have a little conversation with Snecky about doing something like that in the future.
I'm not sure about those surprise questions, man. I'm not good with those.
So
Well,
you're not
I
up
kind
for
of take the attitude that you can ask questions, but I don't have to answer them.
That's fair enough.
Oh.
So Awaken to Life, you're not going to enjoy the surprise segment I have planned where we just all ask you questions and make you answer?
No, I'd actually be pretty cool with that.
Yeah, well, so we're at this point where we don't really have anybody else on the list who wants to present a post, unless I think, Awaken to Life, you should present your post about your vegan burger.
You guys want to see my vegan burger? I mean, let's see it in the chat. I don't know how many vegans are in here.
And sorry, Dreams Team, what was I announcing? Sorry, I missed that.
Didn't you say that today was the secret time that we were going to all ask questions to Awaken? I thought you had like that secret post about it.
No, I actually haven't come up with anything like that. So I just think maybe we should, though.
Wait. Do I gotta say this? What's going on here?
Of course you don't.
It's a conspiracy. Don't worry.
I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah,
It's a
so
secret?
Awaken to Life, you should definitely share your vegan burger post because it's very well done,
I'm
and
getting
you
a
stayed
link.
up super late last night making it.
Yeah, just give me a couple of seconds.
Yeah, no problem. So for those of you who don't know, Johnny Clearwater is currently doing a series of videos called Hots or Shots, in which he's traveling across the United States, meeting up with other Steamians. They roll the dice or cast lots or whatever you want to say, and they either try different hot sauces or take shots of what kind of liquor is it? Bourbon or I can't remember.
Yeah, bourbon.
Okay, and that's what they do, and it can be pretty entertaining. So if you have not checked out his blog and seen those videos, it's worth a watch if you need something to do in your spare time. So I'll just plug his content for him there. And Johnny, you can add anything else.
Yeah, I appreciate the shout out, man. Like I said, I figured most of you already knew what I do anyway, so I'd just drop in and listen.
Yeah, we've got a few people that are in here that maybe have not heard, so just making sure.
I'm pretty sure if everybody's taking shots wherever he goes, I think it's a pretty fun trip.
You can all check me out, same username, and whenever you get a chance. Episodes are about 30 minutes long, so, you know, when you get the time, go check it out.
All right, guys, I found the link, so here it is.
And that is a really good question, Shadows Pub. I have no idea where Cat Weasel is. I figured he would have tuned in for this.
I am not sure why its picture is not loading, and Cat Weasel is probably bugging Enchanted Spirit, so that's why probably he's not in here.
Or still celebrating her birthday.
They're really two of my favorite people on Steven for sure. I mean, they're in general chat when they start talking. You guys should join Steam Engine just to see that in general chat. I mean, amazing.
All right, tell us about your burger.
All right, so basically, I became a vegetarian/vegan about a year and a half ago. And since then, you know, at the beginning, I was actually buying these burgers and paying a lot of money for it because, you know, they cost a lot of money wherever you buy them. So basically, I've been cooking for myself for, I don't know, so 10, 15 years. So I decided to make my own. And this is basically 2 weeks ago, I made a patty for it. And I made a burger for the first time. And in this post, I actually share how I made the vegan patty and how I made this burger. It's actually my first time for all of it, and it was just a big experiment, and it just turned out amazing. I mean, for me, I mean, for my taste, it was the best burger I ever eaten in my life. I know, I don't know, people know how many people here eat a lot of meat burgers and stuff, but for me, this was one of the best meat or vegan burger I ever tried in my life. I put a lot of effort into it. I mean, in the post, there's a lot of pictures. It's very well guided. I mean, you're gonna see step by step how to make everything. So if you're gonna try it, it's actually pretty easy to make. You really can't miss much with it. Only thing you can miss is if you burn it. It happened to me before. Yeah, I fell asleep and it just I almost burned down the kitchen here in Italy. So, but that's a long story.
I think I remember that. I think I remember when because you blogged about that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was actually chickpeas. I put because they take a while to cook. So I put them in the water and I set my alarm. And instead of PM, I put AM. So alarm was for tomorrow. And basically, I woke up with a smoke in my entire apartment, which woke me up actually, which was actually pretty funny. So I got up and I never ran so fast in my life. I mean, if I slept for another 10, 15 minutes, I think it would be a fire. I'm not even kidding. So
You
basically,
almost burned the whole
that's about
house
it. Sorry, Petra. That's about it. I spent like I was writing this post actually till 3 a.m. in the morning last night. I think Ethan got me. I guess sent me a message at like 3:30 in the morning, and he was like, "You're crazy, man. 4 a.m. or go to sleep."
I try to encourage people to sleep if they can, and maybe you should get one of those weighted blankets that Dreams Team was talking about earlier, and then
Exactly.
and then just lock yourself out of Steam it, and then maybe you'll finally get some sleep.
I think I just need to give my roommates my laptop at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
and tell them if I take it from you after that, I gotta pay you lunch, dinner, or something like this every time. So,
That sounds like a pretty good strategy.
and I'll tell them if you fight me for it, I'll pay you double or something like that. I don't even know.
Okay, so it looks like we are actually at the end of people who had things to post. I see we've got a few people in here that have not posted that are passengers of the steam engine. If anybody else would like to share something else, if not, we can just open the floor to any other general topics of discussion, any questions that anybody might have, and we'd be happy to talk about them. Yeah, I think Wax Science said that he had someone there and he was not going to be able to speak, so... But I think he was listening in, maybe.
Maybe Artemis North would like to talk about her coffee hour.
Okay, sure.
Oh, sure. Throw me on the mic.
Yeah, why not?
Every Mondays, it started out as a fiber artists chat, but I think we're going to change it to creatives because the fiber artists seem to be having a hard time getting into Discord, I think. So it's at 3 o'clock Eastern time on the Pimp Your Post server, way down in, well, actually it comes up further on Mondays, in Fiber Voice. And I'd really like it if you or any creative people that you know come and have a coffee and chat with us.
That's great. Yeah, I knew that there had been a lot of channels popping up over on the Ramble, so it's good to know that that's there.
It's 3 p.m. on Mondays, and that's 3 p.m. Eastern time.
So that, for those of you following, that's 7 p.m. UTC, and Duro, that's 9 o'clock in Italy.
9 o'clock a.m. or p.m.? Wait up.
p.m.
Okay. I'm usually free around that time. I might stop by for a coffee.
Well, I'm sorry, but if you're from Italy, I'd appreciate if you'd bring good wine.
How about some gelato also? Ice cream. They're famous for it.
No, to be honest, I'm more into what the old people call pizza pie. Remember that, Patty? Dad showed us how to make an actual Italian pizza pie he learned during the war when he was in Italy.
Shadows, remember, sure.
Just
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
I'm saying they really have good wines here. That's actually pretty much all the alcohol that I drink here. I mean, I don't drink a lot anymore, but if I do, I drink wine. They have pretty good wines here.
I can't drink alcohol anymore, but if someone gave me a bottle of good Italian wine, I would drink it.
Well, I might just send you one bottle.
Then you get me on the mic.
Yeah, if I send you the bottle, you actually have to drink it while we're in the Pimp Your Post Thursday or in here.
That could get embarrassing. I'm not a mean drunk. I'm a giggly drunk.
That's gonna be fun.
All right, so it looks like Shadows has a kitty curled up on her chest. That's cute.
Not to dish, sorry, Awaken, not to dish Italian wine, but you should try Istrian wine. Just saying.
I've never heard anything particularly interesting about that, Petra. What makes you say that?
Istria actually has the best wine in the world. And I'm not just saying that I'm not a wine expert or anything, but wine experts do say that Istria has some amazing wines, the best ones in the world.
That is really interesting.
I've tried some of them, and I agree.
I am actually from Croatia, but I did not know that. I know we have great wines, but I didn't know best in the world.
All right. Well,
What are some of the names of these wines?
Well, Petra should know, she's alcoholic.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on. You did not just say that.
Yes, I did.
To all these people, come on. Juro.
So
We're
do you know
actually from the same country, and you are so lucky you are not in Croatia right now. We are actually from the same country, and he's playing basketball in Italy, but he's from Croatia, and he's lucky he's not here right now because I would kick his ass for saying
You heard it
something
here,
like
ladies
that.
and gentlemen. Talk of the line. You heard it here.
Pictures of it didn't happen.
Don't worry, Petra. I'll get on my knees so you can get to my head.
Oh, that was
Oh my
low.
goodness.
That was
All
low.
this talk.
This is what happens when you get all of the Croatians in one place.
That's because he knows I'm really short. I'm like 157 centimeters high or short. That is too short to be called a height, actually.
Yeah, she's a little less than 50 centimeters than me. So she's about 5 foot. I don't even know how it translates in American, but I'm 6'7".
I'm half a meter shorter than him. Half a meter.
Hey, Petra, do you know some of these names of the wines from Istria?
I forgot. I don't really read while I drink.
You see, she drinks so much, she forgets the name.
Sorry.
So I wasn't
That
so
sounded
far off.
Yeah, that sounded bad.
So I just want to do a quick. We've just wrapped up the first hour of Talk of the Line, and yes, it looks like I might have to moderate my moderator. So yeah, we've been having some fun here. Thank you to all of you who are here right now. We are again live on the Steam Star Network, coming to you from the Steam Engine Discord. And apparently the topic has moved to what you can do and what you can't do when you're drinking. So you guys just take it away.
Hey, Shadow, I didn't catch up all the witness talk last time. Can you just give us a little insight on it, like just the main points?
Oh my, do you have another hour or two?
Quite a few main points, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing,
Well,
especially...
Basically, let's just talk about the importance of putting the votes to the right people, to the right witnesses, and stuff like that, so people here know what to do.
It's very important to not only vote, but to take a look at the witnesses and see what they're doing, and what kind of projects they're working on, whether they're social witnesses or technical witnesses. Some of them are working on development programs. Others are involved in the social side of the platform and supporting various groups. So, take a good look at what they're doing. If you're not sure what a witness is doing, approach them. If they don't answer you, that kind of gives you a little indication. But keep in mind, if you approach them and you message them and they don't get back to you in 10 minutes or an hour, it could be because they're busy. It might take a few hours if they're tied up on something. So, try a couple of times to connect with them and talk to them. And if they just won't respond, then you might want to take that into account when it comes to voting.
Let's test this theory out. So Ingenuity is with us today. We have a real live witness in the chat with us. He should be listening in. So if he's here, you want to drop in and just tell us a little bit about your witness? All right, how long are we going to give him?
I'd say an hour, but we haven't got that long.
I know. So hopefully he'll drop back in. Somebody might want to tag him in the chat and see if it pings him. But yeah, thank you, Shadows, for that. If you have not taken a listen, the entire recap of the witness forum that was conducted last week is available on Shadows Pub's blog. And Shadows, if you want to just drop the link to that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think this is really important for everybody to know how important it is, because these guys are basically responsible for the entire functionality of Steemit. If they don't do a good job, the Steemit doesn't do a good job.
And mark your calendars for April the 21st at 11 a.m. and that'll be the next chat, and we'll see how many show up then.
Great. Yeah, it was. I think one of the best parts of it was that you had so many active witnesses there to kind of talk about it, and really they all came to mostly the same conclusions about how they agree, which is pretty encouraging, given that a lot of them are kind of right outside the top 50, and so yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there was 12 were active in the chat, and there was another 5 made their way in, and in less than 24 hours notice, I really thought they were very responsive.
Yeah, definitely. I invited J.R. Swab to come in today, but I think he said he was going to be busy during this time slot. But we have a few people that are witnesses in the Steam Engine. We definitely don't have as many as over in the Ramble, but I would definitely be interested in having some of them on sometime in one of these segments to talk about it again. So I think Crazy BG Adventure is waiting in the wings. He's on the phone at the moment and can't get off. So I think he's been trying to jump in here to share with us. So
I think he lost his internet again or something, and he's just going off on the internet company.
There's a fun topic of discussion. Internet company nightmares.
Yeah, that should be interesting. Anybody else got any kind of questions or concerns, questions about Steam Engine, anything that interests us about it? What are we all about? Just ask away.
So one thing that I'll mention in the meantime is that we have the incredible opportunity to share this session and this post, or not post, but all of these posts and this session on the SteamStar network. So if you're not familiar with Sir Cork, Sir Cork is a witness, actually, so you can vote for him for witness, but he also runs a charity on the Steam blockchain called You Are Hope. They have a Discord server, and he kind of started the SteamStar network out of that. So if you have not checked out any of those efforts, definitely do so. He has been so gracious to allow us to broadcast And yeah, sorry, sir, as in hello there, sir, and cork, like you pop out of your wine bottle there, Petra. So anyway, someone can drop a link to his profile in the chat there that knows him. So anyway, thank you. I just want to give a big thanks to him. He's not a member of our server, but he's been so gracious as to allow us to broadcast on his radio network. And so if you know anyone who wants to kind of listen in but is not a member of this chat, they can do it one of two ways. You can actually join this server as a stowaway, and you could listen in. Again, I've got all of the stowaways are going to be server muted, so they won't be able to participate here. But we will be able to allow you to listen that way, or you can go to steamstar.net and see the really nice layout that I've made for the stream that I'm very proud of. And yes, indeed, we've got Penderus here, who's a stowaway, and we've had a few people in here. So anyway, let me get back to Dreamsteam asked a question about Steam Auto. I honestly don't know, but I've had really good luck. Speaking of contacting witnesses, Madiari, who is the witness who has developed Steam Auto, has been very responsive to my inquiries. We had an issue where I registered. It was before they basically allowed you to log in using Steam Connect, and you had to register for an account. We had registered for an account for the Steam engine to have a curation trail set up, and the password for that, I used a special character, and apparently it didn't like it. And then when I asked for it to send me my password, that password didn't work. And so I was able to get a really good response from Madiari about getting that issue resolved and getting us back into their account. And now that's not an issue because you log in with Steam Connect with your posting key. So, but yeah, I think scheduled posts is one of the really neat features about that website for sure. Does anybody else have any thoughts on Steam Auto or scheduled posts?
I actually never used that feature, but go, Gabriela.
Oh, I was just gonna. Is the schedule post function working again? It is.
No, it's still down as of this morning. When I was on vacation is when I tried to use it first. Actually, the week before, I had done a few posts, and you know how it is when you have them already and then you're in that moment and then you have to come back to them, and it's just not the same. You kind of want to just get it out there, get it done, and schedule it. So I did that the week before vacation, and then when I was on vacation, I was really excited because I thought I'd be able to post every day, even though I was on a cruise ship. And it happened to just go down, like I think the first or second day on my vacation. And he was really responsive. A lot of people had posted on his actual commented on his post, just saying he's doing a great job. I had noticed his name at the bottom as being a witness, and as soon as I saw that, I immediately, voted for him because I love that website. But yeah, it's been about a week and a half now, and he had expected that it was going to be done within 1 to 2 days, and it's still not up. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. And I don't want to keep pestering him because I'm sure he's probably getting it from a lot of people. I was just wondering if anybody did know about it.
I'm not sure. I've never personally taken advantage of that specific feature, but I can imagine it would be really useful, especially if you go on vacation and you're not sure you're going to have a solid internet connection. So hopefully we'll cross our fingers and it'll come back soon.
Cross them twice if you can.
All right. So it looks like Crazy BG Adventure has finally been able to join us. Hopefully he figured out what was wrong with the people on the phone and has got that sorted out, and he's ready to share a post. So the floor is all yours.
Hi, I'm really sorry. No, it was a friend who called me, and I knew that when she called on the phone for at least 2 hours. So I've just managed to get her off the phone. So hello, everybody. I was actually going to promote this in PYPT, but now I'm probably going to have to look for another one.
You
Let
have
me
a
just
different
put the
audience there, so you can present both
well,
places.
that's true. That's true. I could repeat. Yeah, that's true. But this is the post I want to put. Now, the reason I want to put the post up, it's not just about the content, but over the last kind of 5-6 weeks, I've really been concentrating hard on my markdown and the layout. And this post, when I posted it up, I went straight to Enchanted Spirit and said, okay, I've done my post. I would really like some feedback on it, on how it looks and things. And she said it was probably the best post that I had done today. So that kind of made me feel really good about it. And what it's about, it's don't let the picture kind of discourage you in any way. It is about Hammer Horror, but it's not anything about, gory. It's about the history. And why I wanted to promote this is because this is the first article that I would say that I've actually researched thoroughly. So I even put references in at the bottom, and there's some really interesting points about it. Just kind of what Hammer Horror is to those that don't know about it. It's Hammer is a movie company that was originally opened in England, or the United Kingdom, I should say, back in the 1930s. And that the Hammer Horror is only a part of it. It's like a third of its overall film industry, which is other things like sci-fi, etc. And it talks about some interesting classics like Dracula and Frankenstein. But another thing is that it's made a reprieve as well. So there's some information about that. But overall, as I say, the thing being is the main point that I wanted to get across is because I'm really working hard with my formatting. And I think, from the feedback that I'm getting, it's looking a lot clearer, a lot crisper, and a lot more professional. So that's it, guys. That's the post that I wanted to try and put across. If you got any questions, feel free to let me know.
I think actually I'm just looking at your post. The formatting looks good to me. I mean, I honestly, I think you posted quality stuff before. I mean, it was very well organized posts before, and now it's just a little extra.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing now. It's like when I'm asking people and saying like, is there any is there any recommendations? And people are like going, nope. And I'm like, but there's got to be something. There's got to be. Is there anything that I need to change? It's like, nope.
I think posts. Yeah, it's great when you format it to look even better. But I think it's not too much important how it looks, but what's written in there. It's more important.
Yeah, I mean, Tessa Gabriel, where you've said just post in general or for feedback. Either or, really. I mean, obviously the post is going to be about the history of Hammer Horror. Now, this is definitely a niche because Hammer Horror has a fan base. It's hard to say. Hammer Horror is centered around kind of vintage Gothic. So think kind of like your anything from medieval times going up. And even to this day, the interesting thing is that the movies that they're releasing now are centered around the same kind of era. So that's what the content was about. But by all means, if there's anything that you feel could change or needed to be added, I'm more than happy for any feedback.
Well, I think it says a lot that you asked Enchanted Spirit for feedback, and she said there was nothing else left to do. So I don't really know if I want to even go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's a pretty strict when she looks through the posts and stuff like that. So if you if you got flying colors from her, I think you shouldn't be worried about too much of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, if you aren't familiar, Enchanted Spirit not only curates us in the Steam engine and is responsible solely for each day's Whistle Stops post. She also has a separate account called The Inbox where she curates posts over there as well that don't fit into the daily Whistle Stops. And she and Catweasel both try very hard to reward them similarly to how we reward the posts that make it into the Whistle Stops. So if you have not checked out The Inbox, give it a follow. Throw a vote that way. I'm sure that she would really appreciate it. She and Catweasel both work very hard to make sure that our group runs smoothly, and so we like to give back to them whenever we get a chance.
Yeah, she actually does an amazing job. I actually talked to her a lot about this, and she just there's a lot of quality content in our post promo, and she's always having a hard time to pick the best. I mean, she's such a great person. She's having a hard time to like. She feels bad if somebody doesn't get in there, so that's why she created these other curations where she actually takes these rest of these posts that she thought that weren't good enough for the first creation, then she curates them by herself. I mean, she's an amazing person.
Yeah, absolutely. Penderis, I'm just looking at your comment there where you said I would maybe try to stick to a standard for image usage. Create patterns, for example, those that are small that can let the text flow around and dividers not too close to images, since the images serve as either an intermediate or closing or entry also. Just my 2 cents. And I completely get that. But I think that the page breaks are kind of decision based. Some might use bigger, some might use smaller. Personally, at the moment, the reason I'm using the page breaks is because I struggle with my paragraphing. So the page breaks, or the line breaks, I should say, are really good indicators which tell me where I can put a new paragraph in. So it might be something that I look at doing in the future about making those smaller.
Crazy BG, why don't you get with me sometime and I'll give you a hand on paragraphs? Because I'll tell you, that's one of my pet peeves on posts is people who use great big long paragraphs. They're hard to read on the screen.
Yeah, I would definitely be up for that. I mean, I know that a lot of people have said that they're a lot better, but I know they're not there yet. And I think the 2 things being is, and I confess I'm not the world's best when it comes to grammar, although I think my grammar is a lot better than where it used to be. But paragraphs are probably my biggest pet peeve.
One of the guidelines you can use for creating paragraphs, I know we're taught in school that you practically do a little mini essay in each paragraph. That's not true anymore. Take a look at a newspaper and how they break up the paragraphs. Similar approach to doing it on for reading on screen.
I would definitely like to get together with you, yeah, and then I can get some good insight about what to do. Because the problem is sometimes as well is like, you look at the paragraph and you're like, I need to divide that up, but I haven't got a clue where I need to divide that up.
Yeah, you'll get it after a while. Not a problem.
That's one thing that I've had to consider a lot doing this beginner's guide is making sure that I think on the layout, especially on steemit.com, if you have more than 8 lines in one place, you need to break it up. That's a general rule that I've heard. And so I've been trying to do the same thing with my beginner's guide because you're talking, I mean, the audience of those are people who have never really interacted before. So you definitely don't want to lose them before you even get a chance to tell them about Steemit in general.
Plus, you want to try to give them a bit of an example.
Of course, yes, definitely.
I actually catch myself when I read a long paragraph, and I usually try to finish my paragraph with some kind of a question where I can answer, where I can continue the story, where it can be like a like a transition, nice transition from paragraph to paragraph. I think it's important to keep that up because to keep the attention of the reader, you know, kind of leave a little question toward the end of the paragraph, or you can answer that question in the other paragraph, and that's how I build up my paragraphs.
Well, the other thing I know that I'm going to be looking for help is as well. Is something I was talking to Psycho Chica about on Sunday, which was about the opening line. So Psycho Chica had made an observation which I've been aware of, but that again I'm not very sure of, and it's going to be need work where to try and make the opening line captivating so that people are going to look at it. What was it she said? It was like kind of like clickbait, but not clickbait. That's the way she said it.
Yeah, you want those first few words to be something will grab. One of the first posts I did on the platform, I had a post that sat there for, oh God, it was hours, and there hadn't even been a look at it or an upvote of any kind. And I looked at the first line and I went, I need something better. So I went and changed it, and within an hour I had like 50 votes on it. So it makes a difference.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to look forward to the chat with you, Shadow.
I think also first picture that it's shown on your, I think it actually can attract a lot of people. Some people actually make a team pictures so they can stand out of all the other posts. I'm thinking of doing that in the future, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I know the pictures. The picture tells a lot as well, which is a big part of it. And I can't remember who told me this as well. It might have been Enchanted Spirit. I can't honestly remember, but I remember being told that now.
Yeah, I think especially if you have some kind of series that you write, you know, you want them to stand out. Like I'm writing a lot of motivational posts, and I'm thinking of making just one picture for all the first picture for all my posts, so they can maybe a little stand out between all the other posts.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
if you are planning to do something like that, it's important to kind of establish your branding. We've tried really hard to do that with the Steam engine and with my podcasts, and even if you're watching this on steamstar.net, you'll see that same branding in the stream right now, and when I post the recording of this, you will also see the same thing. And so yeah, exactly. So Dream Steam uses a map, Shadows Pub uses the little cat, and the other thing that I can't remember at the moment. Sorry about that. But everybody's, it has established various branding. Though I think Awaken to Life, if you're going to do a series, the Quill and Ink, thank you. That's what it is. The Awaken to Life, if you're going to do a series, then I highly recommend coming up with something. And one of the great things is that you can ask for people's input on that, because there are all kinds of contests. I know Calamam is in the middle of a logo contest for Buddy Up, I think. So you can kind of go through and get all kinds of input from other people. So, and then Bitmoji. I mean, my avatar right now is my Bitmoji, so that's another good example.
Yeah, I'm sure going to think about that in the future. I mean, I should think about it now because I already wrote like 10 motivational posts by now. I mean, from my original pictures and stuff, but it sure is something to think about, and I'll contact Calamam and see if he can help me out maybe with that a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, of course, man, of course.
Yeah, I create 4 different kinds of posts, and I have different graphics for each of them. So there's the Random Ramblings, there's the Shoutout Saturdays, there's the Steam It Ramble, and there's PYPT. And you can tell just by looking at the graphic what series it belongs to.
Yeah, it's a great plan. So before we get too far, I wanted to let Tessera Gabrielle have a chance to present, since she's has a post to share. So feel free to drop that link and share with us.
Hey Petra, is this a picture of you when you get drunk? This is how fly you get?
Okay, so my post I actually just created yesterday. It's an edit of an essay I wrote. I'm studying history in grad school. It's an essay I wrote, and it's for the Team Girl Power Women's History Contest. And it's a little strange because it's an essay for school, and I don't want my posts to be like this in the future. So I'll say that up front because it is for school. But one of the things that I love about history is how there can be so much that folks wouldn't think about being true, and being a historian, being able to go into the archive and find things and then share them with a wider audience is something that I'm really passionate about. I also am not sure if Steemit is the place for that, but it's kind of the idea that I've had, being able to write little blog posts about illuminating pieces of history that people might otherwise not learn about. Like when I told people I was writing about women and girls in mission schools in colonial Africa, everyone made this horrified face like, oh my gosh, oppression. But actually the story that I found was that African women and girls were super, had their agency. They were super able to find ways to make it work for them. And that was the story that I ended up being able to tell with my paper. So I don't know what other people might think of that though.
No, I think that like Petra said, Steemit is really the place for everything. And for some people, we always encourage new users to just get out there and start blogging about what they're passionate about. And for you right now in graduate school, this is what you're dealing with every day. And a lot of the topics that come up, you feel like might be more appropriate for a general audience. So why not share them? I mean, I'm also a graduate student. I'm in engineering. So sometime when I come across something in my research that I think might be interesting, hey, I'll type a post up. Now, I haven't had a whole lot of time for that lately, but as you know, in graduate school, but I say absolutely keep that up because it's really interesting, the responses you'll get, especially about things that people may not know a whole lot about. So I'll definitely be taking a look at this post. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I agree with Ethan. I mean, Steemit is a perfect place for it. I mean, share your passion, write what you want to write about, what you like, what your interests are. I think it's important to write something about that you're passionate about in Steemit. I mean, because you have to write posts regularly, and if you're writing something about something that you're passionate about, it's just easier. It doesn't feel like you need to write. You're writing it because you like writing about it, It makes it much better.
The real secret is that you can convince yourself that you're not procrastinating by doing Steemit when you're blogging about something related to your research. I'm just adding like a wink. I'm actually winking right now, so just like envision that, because I actually did that one time. I had to prepare for a lecture that I was giving in a course I was a TA for, and I decided that my preparation for the lecture would be to write a Steemit post about the subject, and there we go.
Anybody else got any questions for Gabriela? I guess not. Hey, Ethan, should we let Dreams Team give us a little preview of her treasure hunt or how it all works for Pimp Your Post Thursday? So maybe some of our members can participate in Pimp Your Post Thursday as well, and maybe join her treasure hunt.
Of course. So for those of you unfamiliar, Shadows Pub, who's been a member of the Steam Engine and the group before that, she's been with us for a very long time, has a server called the Steemit Ramble, and every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time, that's daylight savings time there, which is 4 hours behind UTC. I'm getting better at this. There is another session very similar to this where you can hop on and share your posts. And recently, there's been a really interesting initiative put on by Dreams Team. So if she's here, then yeah, absolutely, she can tell us all about that.
Yes, she is here.
Yes, I'm here. Okay, so let me put the first port of this week's treasure map up, and then I'll explain how it happened. Hold on one second. Yes, Captain Dream Steam. I'm a pirate when I'm on PYPT. Everybody was laughing at me and asking me if I was the Lucky Charms leprechaun. And I'm like, what? Come on, that's my Barbosa accent. Are you serious? But anyway, how this started was I mean, when you look at Steemit, we have people who contribute and people who curate and read and comment. And I felt like there is a lot of emphasis on producing good quality content, which is wonderful, and that is rewarded. But one of my passions is just really connecting with people and leaving really great comments and building up a community, which is why I fell in love with Calaman's Buddy Up channel, because that's kind of the heart of it. And Steam Engine, the application that I had to fill out was so simple because that is naturally what they do. But I wanted to find a way that we could reward people who would take the time to read and to comment. So that was my heart behind it. Because you can tell people all day long, oh, it's so important to read and comment, and you'll build this community. But the community takes time, and a lot of people are very, I want instant gratification. So on one day when I had been talking to Shadows and asking her, do you think this is a good idea? And she was just very supportive, very non-committal. She didn't want to sway me in any way. Just let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So I asked her if I could take my PYPT time to run a treasure hunt. And it worked. And then she ended up making it a permanent part of her show. So every week, I will give a new map. And the map is basically just a direction to go to a new port, which is just a post every day. And in that post, you will read it, you will upvote it, and you will comment on it. It is not necessary for you to upvote anything that I give to you. I really want to direct all of your upvotes to the ports that are writing for the map. As a matter of fact, Crazy BG Adventure is a post for today. So he was my port on the map today. And it can be about anything. It's about real life. A lot of times curators are great, and they give you these wonderful, informative articles. What I tend to look for is real life articles. I want to see who you are. I want to have fun with you. I want you to fall in love with the port and ask questions of the person that's writing it, and start a community with that person. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. Of course, we have rewards. Shadows has lovingly offered to every week supply 5 SBD to my treasure chest, and I will usually kick in at least 5 more because I like to sprinkle my pirates with lots and lots of moolah. And what I've done this week is everybody who is participating in my treasure hunt last week that qualified, which means that they read, upvoted, and commented on every port. To kind of give more back to them, I have been giving them tips every day on one post. So if you're not familiar with what a tip is, it's just a way to kind of give them an additional boost. It's much more, has much more value than my lowly plankton vote. So I will do that, and then I also give them a weekly re-steam of something of their choosing. So I'm really trying to make it fun. I think I do. Every Thursday on PYPT, they're given the final clues, and then they have to scramble live and unscramble. They have to scramble quickly and unscramble the phrase, and then whoever gets that gets Shadow's 5 SBD prize. And then I'll ask some trivia questions about what they've read, and then each person that gets a correct answer gets another SBD. Artemis North has been one of my ports, and Awaken, were you one of my ports? I can't remember. I'm gonna have to get you into my ports.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet. That's a good
So yeah,
answer.
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and I really hope to find a way to make it more profitable and more rewarding financially, so that by the time that the community rewards comes along, they kind of go, oh, hey, this is icing on the cake. I found this sweet, pirate crew that loves me and supports me and follows me even outside of the hunt. So that's my heart. Thank you for letting me give that a little plug. And it's not too late to join. So today was just day 3. Go back and you can look on my blog and just click on port 1, port 2, port 3. And by the time port 5 rolls around on Thursday, you can play.
Well, guys, isn't she the most enthusiastic and most positive person you ever heard speaking? Just to clarify that.
Yeah,
you are so good to me.
Well,
I'm not even kidding. That was awesome. It's like you read it from somewhere. I don't even know.
We really appreciate you sharing that, Dreams team. I think it's always incredible to me when people come up with new initiatives like this to try to increase engagement and reward it, specifically with actual rewards, which is really cool. So I'm always amazed, though, at the new and creative ways that people do, because, sometimes I can sit here and rack my brain for a long time, but I guess that's why there are people like you to come up with these things so that the rest of us don't have to.
Well, and that was the heart of it also, is that I knew that I was going to be limited, that there are people that are all over the world, and Prada, my pirate Prada, he's so loyal, and Andy's Antics, oh my gosh, she's all the way in New Zealand, and they come even though it's really late or really early for them. And so my heart, when I first, started it, was, I love doing this and it's so fun and I'm so glad that you'll stay awake with me, but I would love to see it just kind of, flourish and multiple treasure hunts start. I'm not trying to, get a copyright on this or anything. My heart is really not about self-promotion and about kind of hoarding something. It's about let's make Steemit better. And I really think the way that it's made better is by when you have these loyal communities that, I have people that check in with me, and it's not just out of duty. It's because they love me and they want to see what I'm writing about and they want to connect with me. And that is I think that's really the special part of Steemit, is that we really have the opportunity to make it something important and make it so that you have an impact on other people's lives. And if we're chasing the money, that's not a negative thing. I mean, there are people here that really need to pay bills and they're really trying to get that done. That's cool. But I think the way that you're really going to get that money, if you want that, is by having loyal followers and people that have invested in you with their time and their energy, and they really have a genuine love for you. So let's kind of balance both of those and make a win-win-win-win situation.
I could not agree more with you. It's all about that real connections, real followers, real people. I mean, persons you meet, people you talk to. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's for me what Steemit is, That's why I'm trying to help as many people as I can. I mean, that's what it's all about.
I know you and me share the same heart. Calmim shares the same heart. Ethan, I mean, we're all here. Shadows, she invested in me when I was I remember very specifically the first day that I was on PYPT, and I could not get it to work. And she just kept encouraging me. She just kept waiting patiently for me. And I knew that she was somebody special. And I know she is. And she still would answer my DMs. Don't DM her. I'm just saying, when I would come to her for, just, hey, I need help. Hey, what do you think of this? She would take the time to do that. And that means a lot to me. And I will never, ever forget that, because yeah, she holds a special place in my heart because she believed in me. And so that's what I think is really special about, the kind of Discord aspect of Steemit, is that you really get to connect on a different level. And I love these voice chats and I love it. I make sure that when I see people who are nervous, that I try to do the same thing that Shadows did for me, encourage them and tell them they did a great job. And, because you never know, but that could make such a huge difference in somebody's life.
Well, what I'm trying to do now in Steam Engine, since I became a curator for Curry, every time I see somebody having a good post, I mean, I would like, if I had a curry vote, I would give it, but they are very specific and they follow the rules and everything. So I try to DM everybody that I think, okay, you have a great content, but you gotta maybe add these little stuff in this post. You can edit it, or in the next post, look after these things. So maybe when they're smaller, 35 reputation, 40. I mean, if you get that curry vote, like $50, you're like, oh, wow, that's great. It's an encouragement to keep going. I think it also it helps me create a relationship with these people by helping them actually make some money and encourage them to keep writing, because they have great content, but for curry they just gotta tweak it a little bit, and I'm just trying to help them tweak that a little bit so they can get that vote. I think it's for me, I got curried 3 times, and it was a big encouragement for me. I mean, it really is.
So we've had a question
I
from
think
Artemis North about the criteria for Curie.
I'll let me find it and I'll post it in here. Give me a second.
I can't agree more with what you're saying. I had a friend, and only a friend that I met through Steemit. And it was funny because I met him through comment section, which is, so random you think, but really you get to see a little bit more of somebody's like unfiltered heart in the comment section, because they're not worried about, punctuation or anything like that. They're just expressing themselves. So I followed his post and I started looking, and he was incredible, just an incredible photographer. And I kept thinking, if I just keep commenting and encouraging him, and giving him my vote, but honestly, his vote, it was like 2 cents, 3 cents, and he was just unreal. In one of the posts, I saw that he had put one of his pictures up there that he has, and I saw his last name, so I was a little bit of a stalker, and I looked him up on Google, and he's like a legitimate photographer and has so many incredible. So finally, I kept telling him, I want to feature you. I want to do something. Can I put you in like the port? Can I put you as on the map? And then I went away on vacation. And for 8, came back, and he hadn't posted anything the whole time. And I was so upset. I felt like I had let him down, and I felt like, so bummed. And so I quickly used him as my port and started stalking him again, telling him, please come back, please come back. And oh my goodness, the community just freaking rallied, and his post is now like over $7 the last time I checked. He still hasn't been back in 2 days. But like, that's the thing. Like, had I not had any connections and I was just like, oh, a bot, hey, vote for this person, what is that? But people, they know that I'm only going to, offer that of somebody that I really believe in. I really want to affect somebody's life. And they rallied and they did that. And that made me feel so amazing. I can't wait till he comes back. I hope he sees it, and I hope he's encouraged and doesn't give up on Steemit, because I think he's got a place. And since then, 2 people that are Curie curators have contacted me and said his post is amazing. It just needs to be tweaked, and it'd be something that we would totally feature. So, it's like, again, it's the community. It's really amazing.
Yeah, I mean, just a little tweak, so it just gets it to their standards, and they already have great content. It just needs those little things, and people get like $50, $60, which can be an incredible encouragement.
I was just gonna try and jump in there about the Curie thing, because when you were speaking about ideas the other day for in the Steam engine, what I was thinking, you've got Curie curators in here, like we do over at our community, and we've got a channel there where you can drop in and ask for feedback, and really find out how you can improve. But we just dropped in a voice channel there. So what I'm hoping is that more people will put the posts in to get feedback, and within the 24 hours they can get onto a voice chat with a curator or somebody who knows the guidelines, and it gives you that one-to-one kind of personal talking. You're like, yeah, you can tweak this. They can do it in real time while you're speaking to them, and then it gives them that not only encouragement but then that boost to get it curated too.
I think that's a great thing that you've started. I know that a lot of people just starting out, I know I've heard story after story where people who have, like, if you look at that first point that Awaken to Life just shared when Curie looks for things, they've been consistent without much success of late. And sometimes, even though a Curie vote is, just an instantaneous moment, and it's unpredictable if you're ever going to get them again, they can be a real encouragement to people who are just starting out and have been consistent without much success. And so I think it's really neat to be able to connect people with the other curators to find out what little things you can change. So, Calamam, I think that's great.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. And there's sometimes, well, what I've seen, my big jump was when I got curated. I realized, damn, somebody's recognized that I can do this, and it's been appreciated and verified. But there's some people who will get curated, and then it's back down to like the 1 pence, 2 cents votes again, and then it's so disheartening. But having somewhere there where people can, get feedback, constantly keep improving, and at the same time, it's not just like, oh, nice, here's your $50 upvote, and then you're back out there on your own. At least once you've got that vote and you've worked on it with a curator there, you've constantly got that support to get yourself up to that next level, because it's hard to get exposure on here, and there's going to be so many. We're only at, I don't know how many active a day it is, if it's 70,000 or 80,000, but see, as soon as it hits the big time and you've got hundreds of thousands of people active a day, it's just going to get harder and harder. And if there isn't platforms for people to get to, like the Steam Engine, Ramble, all these places that give you the opportunity to connect with genuine people, if people can't find that, it's just going to totally devolve into chaos.
What's amazing? It actually, when I came to Steemit, I actually met some amazing people, like right off the start. I mean, showed me everything, I was writing good content, but they were helping me incredibly. And that's what I'm actually trying to do for everybody else that I meet new, and it has a good content, and it's like, I can't know everybody personally, but if I know them personally, even if not, if they have good content, that's what I'm trying to do for everybody. I mean, I'm trying to help them to stay on the Steemit, because we need people with good content to stay, good personalities, people that understand. And I think in those first couple of months, it's so crucial for them to help them to explain how Steemit works, how to get rewards in the end on your posts. I think it's incredibly important. It was so encouraging for me, and that's why I'm still here, because probably the first month, if I didn't know these people, I would probably quit or wouldn't be so active or something like that.
Yeah, totally. And I think as well, when you're new, I had an idea yesterday or the day before I was looking at the community and saying, there's so many inactive people, it's all here, but they're inactive and they've joined and they don't participate. And I was getting annoyed, like, oh, why aren't they getting involved? Why isn't it happening? But then that's on me. And I started going, well, look, I'm just going to send them a message and say, oh, look, how are you getting on? Is it overwhelming? What's wrong with it? What do you like? All this sort of stuff. And instantly they know, like, oh, somebody's listening. So when you've got the blinders on and you've got that perspective of, oh, there's someone there and they're not taking part, they're not doing this, it's because they're in a sea of Discord communities, they're in a sea of general chats, and just being able to reach out to somebody and send them a message and try and encourage them on, it means so much. And you don't realize that when you've got those rose-tinted glasses on.
The first advice that I got from the person that was actually training me was Anna Maria. She's actually a member here. The first thing was, write a good post and don't write another post in 2-3 days, and just go and comment and leave great comments on everybody else's posts. Get to know people. That's how you make it here. Create relationships, create friendships. I think that's one of the hidden secrets. It's not even hidden. I mean, you just got to do it. You got to take time, go on other people's posts, show love on their posts, and most of them will just return the love back. It's as simple as it can be.
Yeah, you're right. And there's some people who do it really well, but I find that there's some people don't. It's not so much that they can't leave a great comment. There's a difference between a flattering comment when you haven't read somebody's post and actually reading a post, taking the time to soak it in, and then leaving something genuine that's heartfelt and you're actually interested in the post. Because people get told this time and time again, right? You've got to comment, you've got to interact, but people are so detached from what interaction actually is. They feel as though they can skim through a post, leave a comment, try and flatter somebody and bring them up. But that doesn't work. People who are genuine and want to get these friendships can see right through it. So as much as it is great for people to comment and, try and make those relationships, people don't understand what it actually is to be genuine sometimes. And I feel as though that only comes from surrounding yourself with people who are genuine. But it all takes time, and I think Steam is that platform where it's got the goods, so there's no flagging, there's not any negativity. Yeah, there's a lot of different things going on which are kind of debatable, but at the end of the day, there's still a lot of value there, and it's a somewhat safe place for positivity. It's just that difference between how to leave a comment that's genuine and then consistently be supporting people so that you're building up the good relationships.
I 100% agree with you. I mean, it's not just about leaving comments. Of course, it's about actually reading the posts and leaving a relevant comment. I mean, you actually know who's leaving relevant comments. You read it. You see if he read your posts or he's responding to the questions actually you left in your posts. I mean, you know who those people are. I mean, I don't know. Today, I think I got my 1,000 follower, and I think I know maybe 60 or 70 people of those because they're actually the ones that are active on my posts. I mean, the rest, not so much, and those are the people that I care about. I don't care about the number that says on there 1,000, 3,000, 5,000 followers. For me, it doesn't matter. I mean, what it matters is that real number of people that actually engage in your posts, talk to you and stuff like that,
So, hey, I just want to, we're coming up on the end of our 2-hour segment. So I just want to wrap things up with a couple of encouraging things, and we can get back to chatting after I log off of the SteamStar broadcast. But first of all, Calamam, it's about 60,000 people who are active daily on Steemit right now, according to the latest statistics by Penguin Pablo. So just wanted to clarify there for anybody else who's curious about that. I did want to go over some of the actual stats from the Steam engine over the last week that might be encouraging to this community and what we're doing. So over the last week, that is the period from over the last week, the Steam engine has made 273 votes. Those votes value total almost $40 US, so $37.69, which equated to a total value of $30 to the authors that it voted on. And it actually voted on 107 unique accounts. So I just wanted to share those numbers with you. I think those are really encouraging for what we're doing as a community here. And those numbers are brought to you by another effort done by another great witness, and that is SteamOcean.com. You can look up curation statistics for any account that has voted over the last week. So I just want to say a quick sign off. Thank you all who participated in the session today, in the official session. It's been a great 2 hours. It doesn't seem like it's been that long. Thank you for sharing your posts. This is Ethan D. Smith from the Steam Engine on Steemit, and I'm here with my co-host Awaken to Life. He's been great, and we would like to sign off today, the very first edition of Talk of the Line. You can catch the recap on at the Steam Engine on Steemit, or on my blog at Ethan D. Smith, or at Awaken to Life. So thank you so much for tuning in. Anybody who has been listening on the SteamStar network, thank you to Sir Cork once again for allowing us the time. Awaken to Life, do you have any final words?
I think it was a pretty good first session. I really liked it. We shared some good posts. People had some fun. I think for the first time it was a success for sure. So again, I want to thank all who participated and made some interesting conversations. Really appreciated that, and I hope to see you guys next Tuesday.
Okay, once again, this is Talk of the Line on the Steam Engine and broadcast live on the SteamStar network. We will be back next week with another Talk of the Line, so thank you so much for listening.